Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Town of Ulysses Planning Board meeting for December 2nd, 2025. First order is a roll call of board members.
Jeff McDowell.
Linda Little.
Carl Pankowski, Chair.
Mo Klein. Mark Gregg.
For tonight's agenda, we have the following items. Town board member reports, if we get any show up. Approval of past minutes for the November 4th meeting, privilege of the floor, old business item, McGuire two-lot land division and final plat review and public hearing. New business, Riley detached garage, sketch plan review, Browning, house renovation and sketch plan review. It's SDDU.
I don't know.
Well, it's single dwelling, something like that,
Yeah.
detached unit. Anyhow, Foley Brenner open development area request that was sent to us from the town board, and then Foley Brenner site improvements and sketch plan review. Planning board member and staff reports, and get us out of here. Any changes to the agenda?
No, I'll make a motion to accept it as written. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Has everyone reviewed the draft minutes for the, let's see, November 4th meeting?
Mhm.
Any changes or other modifications?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of November 4th. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Gonna have to abstain, I guess.
All right. Privilege of the floor is the portion of the board meeting where members of the public may make general comments on items that are not related to items on tonight's agenda. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes in length. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the board on something not on tonight's agenda? Anybody online? See a Marines, but I'm not sure who.
I don't have anything. Thank you.
All right. In that case, get a closure for.
Move to close the privilege of the floor.
Oh, I'll
All right.
make a motion.
Well,
Did you?
Linda
Sorry,
did it.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. All right.
Wasn't paying attention.
That's okay. We're told me to keep it moving, so we're
Yep,
working
yep,
on it.
yep.
All right. For old business items, we have McGuire two-lot land division, final plat review and public hearing. Guess we need to officially start with the public hearing.
Mhm. I'll make a motion to start the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody in the audience to speak on the public hearing for McGuire two-lot land division? Anyone online?
I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, then we get down to the part you've been waiting for forever. The real two-lot land division. You guys have anything new to add, Paula, or?
Nothing new, other than we went to the BZA, and got our variance, so I think that is,
They didn't have any problem with the
They
coverage and
let
that?
us out of there very quickly, so, no.
That's good. So after months of waiting.
No,
Midwinter.
6 or 7, yes, it's okay. Good things take time.
Yeah.
That's what my dad said.
Only parents say that.
Board members, any additional questions?
We never got a memo from the BCA, did we?
I tried opening it on the stuff Neil
wouldn't
sent
open
and
it,
I
yeah.
couldn't open it.
I know, I tried, yeah, okay. So just for record, we'll get it some other day.
Yeah,
There's no link there.
Okay.
As long as they were okay with the lot coverage being around 25%, or I think it's somewhere in that vicinity, but it certainly makes sense for what you're doing. You know, the idea of repurposing an existing property, I think, is exactly what we want. And,
Yeah.
and community spaces are definitely going to be welcome.
Definitely.
Yes.
So.
Looking forward to it. Might take a little time, but that's okay.
No, so on that note, can I get somebody, Annie, up to be willing to read the resolution and we'll move it
We have to
through?
make a motion, right?
Make a motion.
Make a motion to
Accept.
Which
whatever
one
it is.
are we doing? 18?
Yeah.
Because there's 3 of them.
25,
There's
Yeah.
9, 12, and 18.
No, this is the one for 18.
18 only.
Yeah.
What about 12?
I think 12 was already approved.
Long
That
time
was
ago.
the
Was
secret,
it?
wasn't
Okay,
Yeah.
it was, okay,
Yeah,
I think.
just making sure.
yep.
You made the motion, right?
I did.
Second,
Can you read it? Planning Board Resolution number 2025-018, the resolution of final subdivision approval of the Paula McGuire Properties 319 Penn LLC, 2-lot land division located at 319 Pennsylvania Avenue, Town of Ulysses, tax parcel 12.2-9.4.
It's at the bottom there.
Right. Now therefore, the planning board resolves the following. The planning board hereby grants final subdivision approval for the proposed minor subdivision as described above and as shown on the map noted above.
and that is,
It's the one we've had for a long time.
That one,
I think
okay.
it's on that same website.
What do you need, the map number?
It's, no, it's like
No,
the
no, I was just-
1.22 acres to the south is
Right.
divided off from the church property to the north.
I just wondered how they referred
It's 1.22,
to, okay.
and
The other
parcel
one's-
2 is 1.
Yeah. Move second. All in favor?
I
Thank you.
Yes.
Stay
Stay warm and good luck with your adventure. All right, new business items. First one is Riley Detached Garage. You
Are we
wanna,
going, okay, where you are?
Yep. you wanna come up and
Just
go over
checking.
what you're up to and
I assume, the information is in front of you. Proposed accessory building garage, on the residence lot that I own at 1671. Sketches, I tried to fill out the paperwork, for environmental best I could. I did get one comment back, from Niels about getting an updated survey. So that's easy to obtain, but I figured there'd be some more hoops to jump through in the meantime, so.
and the current survey has like 10-foot increments. Are we gonna want more like 2-foot increments, at least through where the garage is and that? To get a better feel for, you know,
It's got one sheet in there with the topo on it, but the garage is in quite the same spot as it is on
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
the,
Color one, yeah.
the color one. I mean, that's got more contours. and
Yeah.
Gives you an idea of what's there. But the garage is a little closer. To the base than it's on the other one.
Yeah, my PDF skills.
Yeah, I have to work on that.
No, it gives us a good idea. It was, helpful. Yeah, okay.
in talking to Mr. Riley yesterday, that he's looking at about a roughly a 2 foot overhang on the roof of the garage.
Hmm.
So the 54 foot length essentially becomes about a 58. And the 30 foot
okay.
width becomes about a 32. And the other thing, if you're looking at the one that has
Yeah, I have it.
like this,
Mhm.
Yeah,
when we were talking about it, you're still looking at this angled end being essentially set down about 4 feet if the floor inside
Yeah,
to
so the western piece of that would be
higher.
set down with the
Yeah,
topography, yeah.
yeah, because it helps with the amount of grading he has to do to level the building site.
Yeah,
Yeah,
By-
the building plans show that, but there's a lot of drawings to flip through.
yeah, you didn't send any building plans, so this is a one-story
Yeah,
garage,
they-
right?
And the
Did you-
one-
We didn't get the packet with all the building
The
plans.
one end is tucked into
you
the
didn't
back.
get this one?
No.
yeah,
It's there.
There's a hard copy for him.
there was a plan attached.
I'm
they-
sure
we
Niels
didn't-
has them, but he
yeah.
didn't send them
Okay,
on to
yeah.
us.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance.
Stamped engineering drawings for the whole.
Yeah, I think we should have one in our documents, at
Yeah.
least shows that it's a one-story building.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
that,
storage, attic storage space, but
Yeah, because we're in the peaked area.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Electricity gonna go to it?
yes,
Yeah, no plumbing or anything in it?
no,
Okay.
okay, so in one diagram you had, okay, so because you're in the lake shore and in the overlay, I thought you were supposed to have a 50-foot. I was looking at the.
If that was,
50 foot to the slope
if that was a real
intermittent.
USGS intermittent stream, which it is
Yes.
not. This
But
is
it
one of those
is-
that falls directly into what we went to legal about.
Yeah.
That it is not either a DEC stream or a USGS
So
intermittent
it
stream.
is to our discretion.
Right,
yeah, when I pulled it up on the quick link, they give you the property information.
Yeah.
It automatically flags that, so I just assumed it was, but it's a trickle at best in, in rain days, it doesn't really. So-
How about in the spring?
Yeah, it gets some flow down there, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe 6 inches, 8 inches deep or something.
How
But
far
it's very,
is the garage gonna be from it? It's 30 feet, right?
30 feet.
30 feet from the
slope,
top of the slope.
And then 80 feet to the center of the stream. So, I mean, it's a deep gully,
oh, yeah, it's a ways down there.
yeah. So does it come from 89? Is it,
From the other side of 89, there's a culvert that runs
there's a
through.
culvert
Yeah.
that runs through?
Railroad drainage.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
right.
essentially property, he's at 1671. 1672 is the one directly across it. Then it drains down through there is where it comes down from.
Yeah. I imagine if there is a heavy rain, a hurricane or something that decides to sit here. do a
Yeah.
job.
That would be my question. What kind of roof? Pitched roof?
Yeah.
Are you gonna
Sing-
put
single
gutters on
pitch.
and direct the water somewhere? Because that's important.
Yeah, that's in the description there. The idea was, gutters that had issues with like a metal roof, but it was gonna fall to like a French drainage stone
Okay,
and
yeah.
then collect and then be dispersed down at the bottom of the, stream bed area, which is it's all hard bedrock on the bottom. of that.
Did you put that on the plan?
It's
It
on-
is
It's
on
already
the
on
plan.
there.
But that's the
think on
problem.
that
It's
one, I
going
just didn't
directly
want-
Not on
into-
this part, not on this
Yeah,
copy.
and actually, I think that's the problem. What we like to recommend is that you
No,
have
this-
a
It's not on
a
this
way to
copy.
slow it down. Because
It's
you're
not on
gonna-
that one?
No, it's nothing on it.
That's gonna slow it down.
No?
I mean, that's a pretty big book.
But it's going into gravel.
So if he's gonna put French drain, we have to know where and where it's gonna dump.
It'll run all the way along the back side. Where did I see that?
Well, as long as it's on the main,
Yeah, this is on the stormwater plan.
oh, there was, I don't think he has that.
This is the one that has all this stuff.
Oh, and how come we don't have it?
I'm special. It's in there someplace.
Well.
Yeah.
It's in there. I pulled all this stuff offline, off of what Neil's put out.
Well, no, I took the same thing, but I didn't see this.
Anyway, I dug across it and found that that's where all this comes in
Check.
there.
It might have been something that he sent out late.
This is the first time I heard that a French drain like that would work in that capacity.
Well, I mean, it's stone in a ditch, so the water's gonna go in, the gravel is gonna slow it down from.
Yeah,
From
It
running.
is a ditch.
Well, I mean, you gotta dig a,
Stone Hill.
yeah, it's a stone, it's
I know, we have
a
it around
stone,
our
yeah,
house.
it's a stone filled ditch.
Yeah. But it
So-
doesn't slow it down.
Yeah, because the
necessarily.
water's gotta flow through the stone. I
Right,
mean, it's the
well,
same thing when you see swales on the side of a highway that have shot rock in them.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's there for the shot rock to slow the water down. I mean,
uh-huh.
water doesn't run as fast
No, I
through
get that.
gravel as it does through
Yeah, I get that, but is it sufficient to slow it
how
down?
many feet long is the ditch? There should be plenty.
It's the length
Should
of the
it?
garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the
I
way
don't know
he's,
the dynamics of that.
well, the way he's
Where's-
got it on here
Where's-
is that it would
where's the
come
ditch
off of one
empty to?
end,
I mean,
To
where's
the
the,
di- to the
downhill
stream.
end of the
right, but the
garage.
gravel's gotta end someplace, right? So.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't see it
the-
anywhere.
the
I
width
don't
of the
see that
structure, and then it
anywhere.
would collect into a pipe and
Maybe
direct
some,
it.
so then,
surprised
why don't we
because
have
I usually
dimensions on that?
get
I mean, do we
everything.
know that that's adequate for that amount of water?
I have this.
And you've got it on the
Which I
other
don't
side.
need.
On the other side,
The other side would be on the driveway side and it would just get dispersed
into the lawn,
lawn area, yeah.
but you have stone retaining wall
would bring
along
it
there.
in.
How
Yep, so
does
it would get, there's drainage stone behind the wall and it just eventually flows down through the yard, but it's
Okay,
metered.
okay,
The other thing a French drain is gonna do for you, and Andy Sharala,
Yeah.
Sharala Engineering, semi-familiar with this project. But in lower rain times, you're gonna get some water kind of getting into the soil, so you're giving it a chance to try to let the soil take up what it's in first. Then if you can't, then it'll fill up and then it will filter through the voids and then leave through the pipe. So it is a good approach, lower level storms and just hopefully just percolate into the soil. And then you get back-to-back storms, then that's when the pipe would probably pick it up and discharge to the creek.
and figure, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got kind of a dual purpose.
Oh, how do you know what's adequate
It's, we just,
width and stuff? How do you
we don't do
determine
heavy
that?
calculations for it, for something this small, it's
Okay.
just typical installation.
Oh,
doing it,
I
you know,
found
it's
it.
20
It was a
24
duplicate of
wide
the
French drain.
original,
Oh, okay.
but he didn't say it was new.
You never
Just a
really
duplicate
see
of the
water ever
original.
coming up above these French drains.
So you're saying that the water will never go into it?
No,
Oh,
it'll
it'll
come
get
off the roof or they'll go into it, and then, but it very rarely do you ever see them kind of, get so inundated that it overflows. and then
Oh, that it overflows and
Yeah,
comes through.
Because the
Yeah.
water's always trying to go downhill, even though there's stone in there, so it's always gonna be heading to the pipe.
It doesn't perk in the
Okay.
soil, and then come up, it'll go in a perforated pipe, and then that'll go out. So
Okay,
it shouldn't come to the surface.
good, thanks.
So we don't-
Yeah.
No, thank you.
And by being right under the drip line of the roof, other than for any dirt on the roof, there shouldn't be any soil going in with it or anything
I
like
found
that.
it.
So,
It was on
That's the
email that
ideal
he sent
until they
us, but it
clog
wasn't
and
to
then-
change.
Yeah, well.
Speaking from experience.
Updated, So you wouldn't even know if you looked at the original agenda.
Mhm.
It was on the second mailing, not the first mailing. You wouldn't have known it was different.
Unless you're anal enough like me to dig through all this
Well, it
stuff.
should have said, yeah, well, it should have said number 2. So,
Yeah.
because otherwise you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
That way.
Okay, so
You-
we're, okay,
And there's currently no trees in the area where he's gonna put the garage. Cause you wanna kind of give us the background on that?
Yeah, I had, some diseased hemlock trees there. What's the?
That
bug that gets in there?
Hemlock,
Yeah.
Elga did,
Yeah.
yeah, that's killing
So
them.
they've been treated since, but probably 3 or 4 years ago, I pulled my vehicle into the driveway, got out, got to the house in a windstorm, and a big hemlock snapped and cut my truck
was
right
that
in
the
half.
photograph?
Yeah, yeah. So that took out a couple other trees in the area, so it happened to have, I won't have to clear any trees at all to put the garage in this location too, which is another reason why I inspected out there, but, yeah, that also crushed my other existing garage shed that was there. So it did a little number on things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice job on the truck. too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is the shed, other shed gone? But,
Yeah.
yeah, it was that bad.
So we want a survey with proposed grading
Yeah,
on top, so we
tighter
can see
topo
around the
on
Yeah,
garage.
probably 2 foot spacing on the elevation lines if you
Yeah.
can through there.
Yeah.
I didn't look who's doing the surveying for you?
That was just one that was provided when I got the property.
Oh, when you bought the property, okay. Well, TG Miller does most of these in the area anyway, but you can use whoever you want.
Yep, I have a few contacts. We'll figure it out.
Can we, the one thing I'm gonna ask, and I'd like to actually ask of it when any site plans come in, is that like the TG Miller one, there's a graphic scale on it? Because it makes it way easier when looking at these online on the
Oh,
computer, that you don't,
Yeah.
this, I mean, everybody's got a different size screen, I've got a 13-inch and
Yeah.
trying to-
No.
screen like that.
So I wouldn't see it. Actually, I have 3 screens.
Put it up to your TV.
Yeah, I sometimes use that graphic skill, my engineering rule,
Yeah, just
figuring out,
yeah.
checking things and that sort of stuff, so.
So back to the original.
Yeah.
Comment there on the setbacks, I was trying to stay in that 50-foot range or close to it. If it was a recognized stream, being that it isn't, I'm still trying to stay as far as possible and leave enough, vegetated buffered area, so it's still at least probably 30 feet to the top of that, even though it's a.
Yeah,
But
the zoning says for in the slopes area, which you're in, that it should be 75 in an intermittent stream, should be what did it say, 75 from,
in the steep slope area,
this
and
is
he's
not steep slope?
above
Pretty
that
steep.
break. At least when they did my place for the tram and that, the break there was really more like a damn near 45-degree slope. Above that, it was the 50-foot setback. And he said this garage is above the house, so it's above the bench coming up from the lake shore.
I
This-
thought Neil said in this statement.
I don't know, Niels is online.
Yeah. Is,
Niels, you want to chime in on this, please?
Sure. So what's your question, Linda?
is it in the steep slopes area? I thought you said in the guidance to us.
Yes, it is within one of the steep slopes.
That's what I thought. Then it should be 75 feet.
Yeah, but it's still not a
Yeah,
regulated stream.
that's only applicable if it's in one of those two streams.
But it's not one of the ones that's included in zoning, so it's up to the discretion of the
Of the
board.
board.
Right.
Correct.
And the other problem, if he tries moving the garage further into the lot, the bank gets steeper. He's already burying one side of the garage about 6 to 8 foot deep just to level the slope. If you try going up any farther with a 30-foot wide garage, it really gets much worse as to how deep he would have to dig and the amount of dirt he'd have to move to try and site the garage. And this is, I think, a good balance. That's why I was trying to show with the photos and that by he's 30 foot away from the top of the bank, which I think gives a good stable area there. And that side of the bank, the creek or the drainage down through there is at bedrock. It's about 6 to 8 foot wide at the bottom. So barring some horrendous long-term water coming through there, I don't think it's going to widen much in that part. I think it's already there, what's going to be there. And if he stays back from the top of the bank up there another 30 feet, then all the trees that are on the bank are going to stay there and that. So I think it's a typical lake lot. It's a balancing act to try and fit where you can fit it.
So it'd be good to have a photo of the vegetation along the slope then, if we're gonna.
Yeah, there's a.
You could always plant some vegetation around the area, grass or whatever, something to hold the bank. But
What's
that's
the
not a
vegetation
big-
between the garage and the?
There is photos provided there, but there's some larger trees at the top of the bank and some scrubbier bushes and myrtle and stuff growing on all the way up the bank and around it, so there's no exposed, earth.
This is that area behind it that's gonna be between
Right where his
the
fingers are.
garage and
Oh,
the
okay,
top
I
of the
didn't
bank.
do that. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that would do. I think.
This is another photo of the same area looking down through.
Yeah,
there.
looking down, so those trees are on the
Okay.
back edge, yeah.
I didn't see that one. Okay,
That was like the last email that Neil sent out.
Well, there's one of them in there, this I think was the initial package.
It was in, the added
Or
package.
added package in
It's
between.
like they had like 6 attachments on it.
Yeah.
No,
No, not the latest one
That's-
today. This
I
was
just looked it
a
up.
week ago or something like that.
Yeah, there was an email said added package, but when you looked at it, it was the same.
Looks similar.
It looked exactly the same as what we got before, so I didn't bother opening it, any of them. But I did find it now.
You can't find it either.
You can't?
no,
Go to the email, and I'll show you where it is.
Well,
well,
okay.
you gotta get that right one.
Yeah, there's like multiple messages in
Oh,
there.
I'm gonna show them which one it is.
Yeah.
Friday, November 21st.
It is the one that came
That's where the attachment show.
November 21st.
Hmm.
11:25 is when it came in.
Cause I
Look
had
at
those up, but now I
11:25,
don't
and
know.
all it
Maybe-
says is agenda, 12:2 agenda.
And if you open the agenda and get
It
into
says
the items inside. there-
Posted to the packet.
Click that.
Posted, yep, click that. I know, now wait a minute, now this is what we have, right? But if you go down to Riley.
Yeah.
And click on that was, oh yeah, on the application,
Right.
that's a whole new one, that's the new one. That's
Subtle.
why, that's why nobody found it. Now, if you
Unless-
go down, you'll find, okay,
Unless you got lots of time like me to dig through all this stuff, some of you're gonna miss good parts.
yes, there's the one we have, there's all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Cool,
Thank you.
okay.
Okay, so is everybody okay with the foregoing the 75?
Yeah.
Okay,
So, you're gonna schedule a public meeting for this, there's no real reason for it.
Well, we normally do a public hearing for it along with when do you think you'll have the drawings? And that's really the kind of to get a final, or
The
Yeah.
updated survey, or
the updated survey and
Yeah.
you've got
probably
everything else.
within a week or so.
Well, we normally meet this is the second, so the next meeting would be the 16th of December.
And we'd have to have it a few days before, isn't it?
Yeah,
So that could be a little tough.
it's either that or we go to January. And I think our first meeting in January is like the 5th or 6th or something like that in there.
Well, how about we see how soon I get my drawings, I'll submit them, and then I can make the.
Well, the other thing that needs to go with it is a public hearing for the project and scheduling that and getting the notices out 10 days ahead and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I think at this point in time, if you're okay with it, I would like to make the public hearing the first one in January, which would
January
give
6th.
January 6th. And that would be the same time for the site plan review and
Yeah.
that.
You think you can get all your information by then?
I should, yeah, I
Okay.
may not. I may not be in town that week, but I can double check. So let's pencil it in for now and I'll.
Well, the other meeting would be, if that's the 6th, the second one in January is the 20th then. We meet the first and third Tuesday of the month.
All right, when I submit this, I'll confirm the dates that work for me.
Okay. Yeah, and then that's, we're getting into the Christmas holiday and that sort of stuff, and I don't think you're planning on building through the winter on it.
No,
are you?
no, definitely not.
All right, let's tentatively plan then on the 6th of January, both for the public hearing and I think like we always
Yeah.
do on these projects, we do a public hearing and neighbor notification and that sort of stuff. So,
So there's no other variances or anything that would be needed, it's.
no,
Okay.
as long as it's if it was a regular, either USGS or DEC street, then you would probably have to get a variance from the BZA.
Gotcha.
In this case, because it doesn't meet the zoning requirement, we as the planning board can make the decision.
We're all water.
Yeah, well, we dig into it enough to satisfy ourselves on it, but Niels, does that work for you? If he gets his stuff in, that we would either the 6th or the 20th of January and let him work it out with you?
Yep, that's more than enough time.
Okay. We will want a public hearing when we get it going like that, along with the site plan review. And then we'll want to be able to see at least the drawings for the building, you know.
Can you confirm if you have those?
Yeah, we can get a copy from Mark, include those in the next packet.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Anybody, anything else where?
Nope.
Okay, thank you.
That's it. Thank you. Next is the Browning single detached dwelling unit renovation sketch plan review. Lou,
I'm Craig Modisher with Trade Design Build, representing Keith and Ursula Browning in this project. Do you want me to just do a very quick overview?
yeah, well, walk us through what you're doing. This
Sure.
is
So it's a very old residence that has been added onto over the years. So it was originally a CMU concrete block, walls on the first floor and a concrete roof. And then at some point, maybe 20 years ago or so, it stick framed on the second floor on top of that. So we're proposing to take down the whole second floor and the concrete roof and probably the top layer of CMU block on the first floor, but then leave the first floor walls and then basically build up from there. And so we're leaving the footprint, leaving the existing slab foundation and CMU walls on the first floor, and then building up actually 2 stories on top of that. So it will be a 3-story building, but we've talked with Mark about sprinklers, need of fire protection, and all that kind of stuff.
And it's within the 32 foot.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep, we meet all the zoning requirements otherwise.
yeah.
And so because it's existing and it's right next to a creek, which again is not a DEC recognized creek, but we did reach out to them, and so we do have a letter of no jurisdiction from DEC. We also have going through the secret process. It did ding SHPO with an archaeological site within some distance. So we reached out to them and we got a letter from SHPO as well, indicating that, there's nothing on this site. And it's an existing building. And then we've also been in contact with the Tompkins Health Department about the septic system, because currently it's a CMU block pit in the ground is where everything goes. So obviously that's not great next to the lake. The county health department was happy with whatever we would do to improve the system. And so Andy's been kind enough to actually design a septic system. And so we have preliminary approval from them as well, kind of a green light to fully design what we're intending to do on the site. Yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Is it gonna be in the same location?
The septic system?
Yeah.
It is, because what's there is just literally a 4-foot pit. It's essentially right next to it. And so that's where the septic system is gonna be. It's sort of the one flat lawn type area that we have.
I noticed there was a cistern on one of the maps really
So-
close to it.
So the survey,
Downstream.
the survey, so the cistern is what I'm talking about. It's literally
Yeah.
a pit. It's not even a cistern.
Ah,
And so it's very open and porous. And even though the survey indicates a septic tank, there's actually no septic tank. We scoped the plumbing line and it just bypasses anything like that and goes right into the system.
Oh, into the cell.
Yeah.
So they gave up on that.
Yeah, I don't know if there was ever, if they were just guessing or if it was ever a
Right.
septic tank there, but as far as we
Yeah,
know, there isn't currently, so.
The new system we're gonna put in, instead of a septic tank, we're putting an enhanced treatment unit, which is a really high-tech septic tank, which the gray water that leaves the ETU is 10 times cleaner than the traditional septic tank. Downstream of that, we're doing a geotextile sand filter also to further polish. You don't have a lot of room, you're next to the stream, you're next to the lake, so we're kind of double treating as best we can. So that's the schematic plan that we sent to the health department. We did the perk test already and the test holes. So we approved that in concept. So we get site plan approval. We'll finalize the details, get a permit.
And then the retaining wall repairs,
Oh, yes.
yeah,
Yeah, so there's a existing concrete retaining wall along the creek. And it's starting to erode and crumble in places. So we didn't want to impinge on the creek any more than we had to. So we talked to the structural engineer about limiting it as much as possible, but reinforcing it in a way that made sense. And so basically we've come up with a 4-inch wrap that goes from the base of the wall in the creek up and over the top and then down and sort of will die into, but also tie into the existing slab that's outside of the house, between the house and the creek. And so it's about 4 inches thick. It will be steel reinforced, but it's about 4 inch thick all the way around.
Are you going all to the property line?
We're going over what is existing concrete
existing
wall.
concrete
So we're just reinforcing what's there.
I couldn't figure out, yeah.
So you're gonna do the whole concrete wall?
Along,
the house.
we are along the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, as much as possible, and then we'll determine, there's a couple sections downstream that seem fine, so we might leave that.
Yeah.
But we'll sort of determine that. once
In
we
the
get into
photo
it.
packet I sent you guys, that
Yeah, I
Neil
can
forwarded
see
you
it.
this morning,
Yeah.
the very end piece to the lake is wood.
Yep.
It's
I
treated
saw that.
wood, a
Yeah.
relatively new one.
Yeah, we're not gonna.
And then
do
above
anything.
that is where the wall starts, and there's some pretty heavy spalling in the first section where it's getting into the original rebar and it starts rusting and it breaks the concrete apart. And so,
There's an
And,
interesting electrical line that seems to go through that.
yeah,
too.
it hangs out over the side.
Yeah,
out there,
that's
yeah.
really interesting.
I think that's the power for the water system. It's a lake cold water.
Lake
system.
well. So,
We're gonna do some other.
Bart, you have questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll essentially be like a J-shaped wrap on there because
Yeah, upside
it'll
down.
short on the land side, the house side, and full height of the wall on the other side, so.
Inside that detail with these, so you can just
Footer.
their input, they know where they
Yeah,
have
the
that
drawing shows it
information.
coming.
Yeah, that's what it is.
There's no excavation.
No, we're not planning on excavating, certainly not.
Yeah. Right. There was, you said something about a crack in its concrete wall with this.
On the first floor, there is a crack in the CMU wall, and so we're gonna reinforce that and then maintain
Oh, okay.
and use it.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, how do you, is it concrete or is it
Block.
block?
It's
Yeah, thank you.
block, it's blocked and portions of it are grouted, which means they're filled with concrete
Yeah.
and steel often. We're not totally sure what the extent of the grouting is at this point until we actually do the demo. But basically we'll end up doing a bond beam around the top of the existing block wall. And then at every corner, we'll make sure that if they aren't grouted, that we're fully grouting.
Yeah,
I think it's like 2 feet in from every corner at least.
yeah.
And then we can also do on that crack like an epoxy carbon wrap that it's got like carbon fibers in it and epoxy that on both sides of that crack, and it does wonders apparently. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen it.
That's
on a couple
interesting.
basements, but I haven't used it myself.
Yeah.
It moved from a whole development that had concrete basements were forming the cracks.
Mm.
That, and everybody in the whole development, 300 houses.
You're
We're
gonna-
dealing
That's a lot of
with
work.
repair, yeah, repairs. So I
You're
was
bringing all the
curious.
equipment in through the beach?
It's probably almost gonna all be barged in, yeah.
Yeah, well, luckily you have a halfway decent beach.
To land on, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we already barged in a mini excavator to do the test holes.
Yeah. You'll be careful about the erosion in case you bring any
Yeah.
heavy machinery in.
Okay, yeah.
So the staircase coming down that goes into the second floor will go into the second floor when you get done again?
Yep.
And then the tram comes down behind the house to ground level.
Yep.
Hmm. I'm good.
I think so. Uh,
Okay.
scheduling on this, I think you pretty much got everything here already. Uh,
I'm happy to send those letters. I didn't send from the DEC.
Yeah.
We'll need those for record.
Yeah.
Shit,
But-
I think was in. Or was that for another one?
I don't
I
think
think it was
I forgot to
included in
send
the
those
packet. I saw
I
it
sort
in
of meant
there.
to send them in, but it was after all the packet stuff had been sent out, so
Oh, maybe
I was
it's
just
in
gonna
that
wait,
other
but I can
section.
send those tomorrow.
So are all of you or most of you available for, today is the second for the 16th of December? If we do it on the next meeting? Niels, would that work for you for public notification for a public hearing on this and final review?
Yep, there's enough time. Just let me know if you do want to do a public hearing for this or if you just want to do public notification.
I think we'd stay with what we normally do as a public hearing on all these. I'm not sure what response we'll get, but
Okay, yeah, that's enough time.
all right. So 16th of December then.
Okay, great. I
Right.
guess let me know if there's anything else that you'd like to see.
I think we've got what we need. It's
Okay.
going back in the same footprint and
Yep.
all right, thank you.
Okay, great, thank you.
Gee, the next one, we need to deal with the open development first. And then for Foley Brenner, and then we'll get to the site improvements and sketch plan review.
Which one are we on?
This will be the one down on just south of the yacht club. I think it's the fourth house south of the yacht club. It's 1191 Teganic Boulevard.
Oh, this is the stairway.
Yeah, it's the stairway behind the house. One of those like 40-foot high stair steps.
Yeah.
And the cliff is trying to come into the backside of the house over however many years it's been there, which is,
You know, it looks like they built the house out a little bit against it as well. I
well,
mean, it looked like.
the house looks like it's been there a long time, but there
Oh,
wasn't a
yeah.
lot of gap behind the house, but the cliff has been slowly coming off and filling in.
Yeah.
Filling in behind there, trying to attack the house. Yeah, it's pretty tight behind there now
Oh, it looked like an addition had been put on it.
on
To
that.
me.
Yeah, but that addition
was
may
the
have
other
been
house,
there
yeah.
40 years or more
No,
already.
yeah, I know. That's when they had back rooms.
Yeah. Yeah, it's as much house, I think, as you could possibly fit on that little lot down there.
Yeah,
So,
I'm representing, Maureen Foley and Jason Brenner, Andy Sharado with Sharado Engineering. Maureen is online, I believe, so she was the Maureen that was logged
okay.
in by Zoom.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, so we learned about the open development area, the lack of ability for the town to issue any permits. We were in pre-application meeting. Sent letter to the town board last month to you. A lot of properties actually, in a similar situation down there north and south of this property.
Yeah. There's probably 8 or 10 of them at least in a row there that are very similar.
You know, the town could do it as a blanket open development area for those lots, you can't even issue a building permit or anything. Unless they are. This application is just for 1191.
So board members had a chance to review this open, what is it here? Open development thing.
If we say no, we just wait for the shale to take the house.
Yeah, well, the access to the
And for the
house
stairs to fall down.
Yeah.
is either
It's
walk
just-
through 3 neighbors from the yacht club or come down that set of steps to the backside of the
right.
house. Because it's like 40 foot high up that cliff back there.
So are we talking about the
Yeah, we need to
ODA
do
form
the,
first?
we need to
Yeah,
do the resolution first
Okay.
and then get into the site plan review and that. So let's go with the resolution. We'll get that out of the way.
The resolution is for.
1191 Teganic Boulevard. Oh, this
No,
is
no,
that
for the
open,
okay,
open,
that's
yeah,
what you're
this is the
doing.
open development,
Okay,
the approval of the,
Approval.
yeah, recommending approval of the open
Okay.
development. Then it'll go back to the town board for official approval and
you don't need, well, I guess you don't need a public hearing for that, do you? Nope.
well, I think when we get into the second part, which is the actual
Because
site, the site work.
Well, the reason I ask is because they're cutting into 2 other properties, that's why.
Well, we'll get into that with the site
Yeah,
plan.
this is just allowing them. to
This
be
is
in
just
ODA.
allowing them to get a building permit eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah, because without this, they can't even get a building permit. That's what triggered this.
If that's gonna work over the property line, does the open development area cover the other 2 parcels then, the other 2 properties?
It's
We're
96.
proposing to work on the north property line with 1195. They've also applied, they didn't get it on the town board agenda from the last meeting. So they've
For
also
the
applied to be
96.
part of the open development area. On the south side, we're not working on that neighbor's property.
Okay.
Oh, so we'll
have
see
another
another one of these.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is gonna be a
A two-year?
to be continued version.
Yeah.
Let's get this one out of the way then.
But can you get the building permit without the other one being issued too?
Probably not.
Or not? Because it's gonna be part of
It's all
it.
concurrent. So,
Okay.
yeah. We're trying to do everything concurrently.
Yeah.
So, well, hopefully the town board will get it to us and we can do it on the 16th meeting and then out in January, we'll get you actual production on this.
Yeah, they're getting, at least it won't be novel to them anymore.
Right, it's the same,
Yeah.
same issue.
It was a quick meeting for
It
for this
was.
one, for the last one.
Yeah, I was,
Yeah.
I was there.
I didn't look at the next agenda to see if it was on there, but, all right, can I get a volunteer
It's a long one.
Yeah.
You
We'll
have
let
to
you
read the
do
whole
it.
thing.
I move. Whatever there's a way to do,
to? It's-
Resolution.
that we
Approve the open.
recommend to the town board planning board resolution number 2025-019. A resolution recommending approval of the open development area located at 1191 Teganic Boulevard, tax parcel 30.3-9. For the findings and reasons set forth above, the planning board recommends the town board establish an open development area for the subject parcel located at 1191 Teganic Boulevard, tax parcel 30.3-9, subject to the following conditions. 1, prior to the town board's final action, the town board will request the fire department, police department, and other EMS services assess the access drive and provide comments and recommendations to the town board as to any site improvements needed, including but not limited to grading, surface construction, vegetative clearing, and 911 signage. 2, any substantive widening or regrading of the access drive recommended by fire, police, or other EMS shall be reviewed by the town engineer as part of the site plan review by the planning board. no, sorry, 2. You know what? You read it.
No, you made it, you gotta do it.
With the backup a little bit, Lori.
We're the backseat drivers.
Now therefore, the planning board resolves the following. It would be in the long-term best interest for the public health, safety, and general welfare of the property owners, community, and town to establish an open development area for the subject parcel in order to obtain construction permits for current and future needed site improvements, and sufficient access to the subject parcel from Tartanic Boulevard for fire trucks, ambulances, police cars, and other emergency vehicles is imperative to ensure public health and safety. Yeah, may continue. So
No,
No, I think we've gotten everything in there now.
Next time, you know.
No, I'm sorry, I just didn't want you to, because then it wouldn't have been legal if you didn't read
Okay.
that first part.
And Lori, that you'll have to couple together the two pieces there.
Yeah, he read the second part
Yeah.
first.
Yes, I saw
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody second this.
Oh, second, I'm sorry,
Yep.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Niels, are you gonna reprint those two documents with the ayes and nays?
I've got them going for Lori.
Okay, and then I'll go ahead and sign them tonight there. All right, so the next part of this is the real part, is the Holy Brenner site improvement sketch plan review.
So yeah, as you described, the indoor access is from Tanic Boulevard down to a number of parking areas. And then there's a 40-foot cliff from there to the beach to get to the cottage. There's a set of wooden stairs that currently switches back many times to get down there. And the bank has, as you mentioned, over time, tried to move closer and closer to the lake. You can see evidence of past owners trying to put fencing up and some wood to try to keep the shale at bay. So it's time. The stairs are not safe at this point, really need to be replaced. So the intention is to replace the stairs with a wooden stair. It's going to be the same height. The footprint's going to be slightly different. The drawings you have in your package from a structural engineer were kind of creating a stair tower, but I included one drawing to kind of show the footprint in square foot area is going to be a little less than what's there now. So we're not variance conditions. We are going to clean all the loose material out of there, but as you noted on the other application, all of the real access for any machinery is going to be arch. So in order to get back in there, we're going to be working between 1191 and 1195 north. The property line kind of goes at an angle between the two cottages. It's very narrow. So we will be working on both parcels. We've been working with Weissman's from the property to the north. Work, get in there. In order to get the small machine in the back, we are going to have to shave off some of the bank between the two cottages just to get back in to get all the material out. So we're working with them.
So essentially, when you get done, you'll have about a 5 or 6 foot wide, or maybe 7 to 8 foot wide flat area behind the
It'll
house.
be closer to trying to go maybe 9-10 feet, right? The widest
Oh, okay.
point. Yeah, where it's been sloughing off towards the southern portion, it's going to be deep, it'll be wider because it's already kind of fallen in. We're just going to remove just as minimal as possible to get machinery back there. So no more than 10 feet in the back. That'll allow us room to build the stairs. Then we also want to put a double mesh on the remaining bank. It's not going to hold the bank, and the shale's going to move, but we just want to make sure.
No stones come down.
Yeah, big stones. Yeah, 'cause you got shale, you got some concrete rock bands. You probably saw there's already one very
Yeah.
large piece that kind of fell down by the southwest corner of that. So we want to prevent that. So the mesh will just be there. So if anything kind of sloughs off, it'll be a controlled tip that'll just kind of slide down. So that's the intent. Drainage is there. There's already a catch basin up at the parking area, and we're going to just replace the plastic storm pipe that's coming down the bank. It's got some breaks and joints. Certainly.
Why did they change side? Why are you changing sides? Like rather than just replacing the one that's there, doing it on that side, going to the other side.
Oh, it just works out better for the entry. And
Oh,
then
does it?
also
Yeah.
up top, where the bank is where the current stairs kind of come off. There's no intermediate bank to actually put a support in the middle. So you have this long span, and you have to structurally bridge with something.
Oh,
So
so that's why.
by kind of shoving it over, doing a tower, then the connector can have an intermediate support on the bank that is still there up top.
Wow.
Between. We looked at a number.
It's a bit of a feat, yeah. Yeah, oh, I was just curious,
Yeah.
what side better than the other.
Yeah, because the parking lots are interesting when it took me a bit to find the driveway to get down there because it enters with 1189. And then you come down and then there's an upper parking lot. And then if you go around the curve, there's this lower parking lot down there. And that's where the stairs actually come off of that lower parking lot.
Yeah,
So, I was down there at my pickup. So getting an ambulance, a typical ambulance in would work. I don't know about a fire truck, how that's.
Get fire truck, you never get one down there.
They can get to the upper parking lot, but then it's about another 25-foot bank in the second lot to get down there. So anyhow, it'll be interesting to see what they come back with when they go through this. So
right.
I expect this is going to probably take a couple iterations with the town board, and then besides getting the other one of the open development for 1195, just to get them to look through the rest of it. But it is all blacktop coming down there already.
So you're
Yeah.
talking about
The
parking lot,
access to get in there, because there's like 4 houses that access off of that same driveway.
Yeah.
And I think it's 1195, 1191. I want to say 1189. No, 1189 is up by the highway, I think. But there's 85 and something else. It's typical Lakeshore.
Yeah, right.
Well, not anymore, but it used to be.
Yeah. He's already got us the sketch here with the, and the engineering details are provided in the other part of the package and that.
Yeah, a lot
So-
of detail.
But were you planning on coming over to seawall from the barge or up that little like 8-foot wide ramp?
The time of the year, we're probably over the seawall. Yeah.
Yeah, because you got a good stretch of beach before it.
Yeah. So all that area will get restored because obviously if we're going across
Yeah.
the wall.
Because there is a drive up through on the left end of the
Depends on
seawall.
the size of the equipment. Yeah. If they
Yeah.
can get the smaller equipment up that little ramp, they'll do that. Anything else they'll put up.
Just a small excavator, probably.
Yeah, you can't get big machines back.
No,
not back of the house.
They're all minis, so
Yeah,
yeah.
just a mini.
Small
Yeah.
equipment, yeah.
Yeah. Mini and a Bobcat.
Yeah.
I guess you ferry the spoils out that you're pulling out of there with the Bobcat.
Yeah, which makes everything that's already expensive these days incredibly more expensive when you're barging. All the fill gets, trucked off and disposed of, so it's.
Yeah, you can't
large
take anything
trucks.
up. You have to take it all down.
Yeah, I mean, a pickup truck can come down and then you can bring some lumber probably and stage it up in that parking lot, but anything heavier.
Yeah,
than that-
anything else? No.
No,
I'll-
I wouldn't come down with anything
No.
heavier, no. It's
It's
particularly
all gonna
near
have to
the
come
edge,
from
yeah.
below. Yeah,
The DUKWs.
yeah.
Any other questions? Board members?
No?
So I guess really on this, it depends on how soon the town board gets us the second one of these for 1195. And then scheduling with Neil's after that, so,
Yeah, we can't really do anything until we see anything else required, right?
yeah.
I don't know, can we in parallel do site plan approvals if the details are there? And if they can't issue a permit because we don't do the open development area, then is that just?
We can look at it, but we can't do anything because we don't know what's gonna come out of the fire and the police, right?
Right, you have
That's
to
gonna
wait
be
for all of
additional
that. Yeah.
work potential.
We
I have no
were
problem
aware
with
that was the
what we're
potential
talking
line in the
about.
driveway.
Oh.
That's
Yeah.
part of the
Oh,
open
really?
development area.
Okay.
That's-
Yeah, I mean, that's gonna be part of the project. If they don't come back with anything, it's,
Yeah, they have
That's
to
what we're
sign
looking
off.
at,
They'll
but
send us letters.
if there's
sign
gotta be
off.
something
But
done up
wouldn't that
top.
be another project? On top, or you're saying they can't do that
can't
until
do
they
this project
satisfy
until
the
they
police?
Have the, at
Well,
least
it's
have a plan.
it's
for what's-
contingencies in here of this resolution about, that's part of it in here to say that the fire and EMS and them have to approve it.
That's
It's
what
part
it's
of this.
implying.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't-
included
I
in
mean,
here.
I guess technically it could be a separate thing,
Yeah,
but they can't do this one until that one's taken care of.
complete.
Well, at
Okay,
least,
I didn't
at
read
least
that.
designed to the
Yeah.
point that it's gonna be built as part of this.
Yeah,
It would
Yeah.
probably be easier to put an elevator in there.
Yeah, but elevators are, building an elevator's
What?
essentially.
Would EMS?
No,
feel
not
like
an
that
outdoor
either?
elevator. No, I'm not
Yeah.
talking about an
Yeah.
enclosed, an outdoor elevator.
It doesn't change the open development. I mean, if the open development area is predicated on
Access to physically
what
get
we're
to the
doing,
property
can't
to
do
work
anything
on
right
it,
now,
so it
so
doesn't
right now-
change that. And if the town board, if, you know, if they have to be able to get down to, you know, it makes sense that if you ever need, you could drag somebody out of there with a, you know, either to fight a fire or drag somebody out in a emergency vehicle to be able to get it as close as you can, but you're still gonna have to go all the way up the staircase with.
Well, that's
Whoever
Unless you
you're-
get a helicopter and lift them out.
Or you go across 4 lawns and you go up to the yacht club.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
what they do, yeah.
Yeah, or 3 lawns. They're the 4th house down. from
Yeah, I
the
don't
yacht
think
club.
the EMS is going to,
Try and
takes-
come up 40 foot of stairs.
No.
No.
Yeah,
Too
see,
much.
that's why I thought it was like separate issues.
Yeah, well,
as long as as long as there's access to the house from some direction,
Yeah,
then the staircase is okay. If this was an enclosed area, then they would have a problem with that. But if there's a way to get across from a different area, then, you know, they can get to it.
yeah.
right.
Niels, do you have any input on this to kind of help flesh out where this is gonna go or how soon it's gonna be able to go?
I mean, I'll give the resolution tomorrow to Caitlin and Carissa. I can't tell you. I know they don't have a second meeting in December, but I'm not sure if it's quick enough to get on their meeting next week. It might be, but I mean, like you said, you're still waiting on the other reviewers to give some feedback on the access road.
Right.
So very likely it's gonna be January before we can really work on this. I think either the 6th is our first meeting and the second one is the 20th. So,
Ideally, I mean, we have the contractor lined up because there are very few people that have the ability to do this type of work. And ideally, we would like to get permits and start like February, March, April, try to get the work done. It won't take very long to do the work once they're in. So if we didn't have everybody happy and using their property by May 1st, that's the goal. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can get that.
yeah, I think between the 2 meetings in January, we should be able to put it together. You know,
Yeah, as long as
Do
we get
you
everything.
foresee that we need a hearing on this?
Well, we'll do a public hearing on this because their houses are like 50 feet apart down here, but you know, there's.
50.
Well,
They're
you saw,
closer than that.
well, yeah, center line of house to center line of house.
Yes, yeah, center line of center line is 50 feet, yeah.
Yeah, but there's multiple properties on both sides, you know, the typical 300 or 500 foot.
Yeah, I
and this
suppose
one's
I
gonna
could
be-
object to the stairs being on the other side.
But
Yeah, right.
The stairs is gonna be behind the house where it is now. That part won't change.
Well, it'll be on a different side. Yeah, who knows? That's
Anyway.
why- Well, that's why I asked, does it really, since it's behind the house
Yeah.
and behind the property, do we necessarily need to do a hearing on it?
Well, because of the work going on in the area, I would certainly, we normally do a public hearing on all these house projects and that, and I think it's a good practice to, you know.
To do it.
But there's 5 of us, so if
That's fine.
3 of you tell me no, that's fine too.
No, on this one, I would do it because there is a group of homes there.
Yeah.
You would. Okay,
But so probably, I think in the January 2 meetings, we should be able to get it put together unless something radical falls through. But it certainly looks like you've got all the detail we need already for it.
Yeah, we did apply for the joint application just to get sign off from the DEC, Army Corps, Office of General Services. We're not working within the water, but Neil suggested that we just get letters of impact from all those agencies. So we already have OGS letter. Army Corps already signed off by email. I asked them for an official letter, no impact. So once we get those, we'll submit those to Neil.
All right, thank you. You're used to working this whole collection.
Well, I hate to live,
Thank you.
All right,
I hate to live in an area like that with a staircase.
yeah,
You get all the way down there and you realize, oh, I left my cell phone in the car.
yes. There's no easy way back up.
No, there is no easy way back. No.
Pat Carroll.
Mo, did you want to share more of what you did down there in Binghamton? with the
I
rest
had
of the
breakfast,
members?
I had lunch. No, it was a housing conference, and I invited one person for sure, which will come. I don't have all the information because I thought we would be very busy tonight, so I didn't want to
Yeah,
bring it all. She is the developer of the section here in Trumansburg, where they built those
Oh, so,
homes.
yeah.
And the architect is also here from Trumansburg, who designed a good part of it. And if I can just remember her name,
Claudia,
I think it might
Claudia
be.
Brennan.
I think so. We were talking about, Ulysses and the housing and the farmland that's being cut up and all that. And they do own some land here, which we found above.
Paul's trailer.
The hard part with the development is, of course, the infrastructure, which is sewer and water. But if you have a project that you are proposing, getting grants for sewer and water is easier than just asking for sewer and water. So, and also to designate areas that might be acceptable for that type of development.
Yeah.
So she wants to come meet us. I mean, she knows just about everybody in town anyway, but she wants to come meet us and talk about it a little bit and explain how it's done and, how they did that one up there.
Do before the end of the year.
Oh, I'm covered for this year and next
Training
year.
hours.
yeah, for training hours, yeah.
Yeah, and I also spoke to a lot of other people there from the state about grants for infrastructure. And of course, they say if you have a project, of course, it's, better off. I spoke to the assistant housing development in New York State. He was also explaining a lot about how, he was in part of that project, how you could do that in your town. But it's easier for them to explain it because they've been doing this a lot. So
It's a tax credit development.
yeah.
And
But
there's only so many of them to go around.
the big thing is the infrastructure, and that's the one thing that they know more about,
Right.
and how to develop it. So
And
that's why I
trade-offs,
invited
yeah.
her up here, and she said she'd love to come. So we'll do that maybe in January when we don't have a lot of stuff on a schedule, because her talk will take a while to explain. And there was a lot of other
That's
discussions. It was a full day. I mean, it was
Yeah.
from 8 to 4 in the afternoon.
What was the best thing you learned?
Excuse me?
What was the best thing you learned at the session? Or what that you didn't know before?
No, I knew most of it before, but
You did?
it was, but it was how they approach a lot of the projects. Oh, and the other one was I have his book. I'll have to bring it in. This gentleman, I can't remember his name, is small projects. So he develops all over the country, not just in New York State. He took an area, and he had a lot of pictures of what they've done. He took an area that I think was about 10 acres, and they put in 8 buildings, but they did not cut any trees. It was a mature trees. They designed the buildings around the trees. They only had to cut one tree to do it. But the idea of what kind of buildings they were, there was one building that was a communal building. This is for what they call young professionals. It was, they had a living room and a kitchen that was communal, and then everybody had a bedroom which was pretty large, that they can live in. And the rents were a lot cheaper because they don't have the full infrastructure. Then there were cottages, and the cottages were 700 square feet, I think. That was the second step up. And then the main was 1,200, that was the main. But they fit 8 buildings like that in this one area, and they had walkways and garages for everybody. The garages were in the back, and everybody had a designated walkway to their garage. So every building had a walkway to the garage. Very interesting concept. From the road, when you drove by, it looked really nice because the house in the front was the main house. Then he had another project where there were 2 homes. They showed the street view first. They looked like New England type homes. Really nice, porches and everything. But what you didn't see was what was in back. They were stacked homes in back. 8 homes here, 8 homes here, with a walkway in the center, or like a park type setting in the center. And then the garages were on the sides here. Very interesting concept. From the road, you would never know it. You drive by, you wouldn't even know it was there.
And it's kind of the concept of what you get like in the city, the New York, in
No, even
Philadelphia.
here.
In Philadelphia, they would do, they would
Yeah.
build
But I mean,
apartments around it.
but
yeah.
you would drive
It
by,
was
see
cool.
just 2 beautiful homes,
Yeah,
and then you
right.
wouldn't realize there was a stack of homes
Homes
on both
behind it,
sides.
right. I like that.
And they had a nice backyard, and they had that front courtyard that they can walk. And then he showed
With a
some
playground,
other,
of course.
excuse me?
With a playground.
Yeah.
Of course.
He showed another example, which was really interesting. They took a car wash, self-cleaning where you have the spray guns. Those were all concrete, right?
Mhm.
So there were 6 units. They made 5 units into restaurants. They brought out a glass front so you can walk from unit to unit. So it was
Oh,
continued. In the center was the bar, or it was a bar. The owner kept the bar. That's how he paid for everything. No, that's where the money was. And then there were the restaurants on both sides, so you can go from restaurant to restaurant. Since the building was there, the only thing they had to do is put the glass enclosure. And the idea of it was the owner supplied everything in this restaurant, the tables, the chairs, and the basic cookware. And it was $2,000. You can cook tomorrow. That was the rent. It was to start people out.
Oh,
And it was small business.
Kind of
He
like
owned the liquor
Sports and
license,
stuff.
so he made the
Yeah.
money on liquor, so he paid for the whole place.
yeah.
But he was giving people a starting, if you
yeah,
wanted to start
right.
some sort, and then you can move up, I guess, eventually if you get really popular. But it was an interesting concept, and he had a lot of other areas like that
Like
too.
it, yeah.
But small.
Wow.
They were
that's
small, but
fascinating.
well configured. Let's put it that way. They were not sloppy. They weren't, look like row houses. They moved buildings around, so everything looked really
Didn't
nice.
all look like Dollar Generals.
Yeah. Well, no. As a matter of fact, you mentioned that he went to a town. They had to put in like a warehouse, 2 steel buildings. Their zoning required 2 steel buildings. So when he came in, he showed his design, which the steel buildings looked like homes. And I guess they had to change the zoning to allow it because their zoning wouldn't allow that.
Ah,
So what he did is, instead of looking like a Dollar General steel building, it now looked like a home. So that, he says, that's what you really have to work towards, is you don't want something ugly on the road. You want something that looks appealing. There might be a bunch of houses behind it, but the front is what you look at.
mhm.
So very interesting. I have a book and I'll bring it in next time. You can
Oh,
look through
yeah,
it.
I'd love
Yeah.
to see it,
Yeah.
yeah.
But his idea was small. He says we developed small.
And that's about what would fit Ulysses.
It really would,
Yeah.
yeah.
But the concept was really good. I mean,
Yeah.
the way, and I doubt we'd ever get him because he travels all over the country
Yeah.
doing this. He's just a designer. That's what he does.
Huh.
So somebody calls him in because they have that type of,
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how
Yeah,
how you can cut costs too. I mean, the building costs part of it. too,
well, because
right?
they were small, they
And
didn't
because
cost
they
a lot.
were sharing the infrastructure.
Right,
That's
exactly.
the other part of it, yeah. That
So the
makes
cost
a
was a
difference.
lot lower.
Yeah,
And also, I mean, like he said, he was saying that we use existing buildings if we can.
yeah, like that.
There's a lot of existing buildings in this area that could be rehabbed.
Yeah, could do it with Barangas.
Yeah, oh, well, he showed a lot of, well, he showed a lot of old factories that they redid into gorgeous. Some of them were apartments, homes, retail on the bottom.
Yeah,
Really nice. They did wonderful jobs on some of these.
yeah, better than some of the Lego buildings we have.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, but I'll bring that stuff in next
Yeah.
time and we can discuss it more because I had all my notes and everything. I
Yeah.
didn't bring it.
Yeah, is that something in the comp plan when you guys,
No.
that's come up about building more
Mm-mm.
Well,
reasonable, affordable? housing?
well, the idea is to get a broader range of housing available, that fits different economic levels.
Right.
The affordability is like the 30% of your gross income.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
so
it's-
depending on what you're making really drives where you're at on the spectrum.
Yeah.
But it's just physically having buildings around in that.
I was just thinking today, look at all 5 of
Well,
those
the-
that we had were on
the-
the lakefront. Where
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
has enough
Yeah,
money to
3
do-
lakefront
to do
properties,
something.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, with the
big-
current economy too, that's,
Yeah, that's
we're the
exactly-
only people who are spending.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
The big thing about all of this was not what's in the comp plan, because you can write whatever you want in the comp plan.
Yeah.
It says it has to do all with zoning. And I did ask him if he had anybody who can help us with zoning. He gave me a name of a gentleman who works with zoning of this type of
To
structures.
support that.
Yes, because he says in towns do not have zoning for this. So when you go in
No.
and you say you want to build 8 buildings on, on a 10-acre lot, and you can't do that. You can't do it.
Well, we have the cluster. I mean, how does it map to the cluster building?
See, that's the thing. The zoning has to be specific to what you're doing.
Yeah.
So we
How
could
do
say
you modify
cluster,
it?
but what do you mean by cluster? And what's the density on an acre? I mean, on a 10-acre lot? Is it
Yeah.
2,
Right.
5, 10? It depends. So he says it's most important to really redo the zoning to make it work for you.
Yeah. Right. Yeah,
But It's
interesting.
that nice orange band in the future development plan, that's where all that has to happen. in the
Right.
zoning.
Exactly. He said zoning is the key to any type of this type of development, because it is not, nobody has it in their zoning. It was,
It's be interesting.
and if somebody
recommend-
came up here and said, I want to do this, we don't have it in our zoning, we can't allow it. I mean, well, yeah, I guess you could work on it of some sort, but it wouldn't be,
You'd have to come up with a development district.
right, well, you'd have to
Yeah,
come up with something, right? You'd have to come up with something. But yes, it was an interesting conference. They're having another one, I believe, in March, which I might go to because they will have other speakers and other,
Different people.
yeah. Most of the people there were planning board members, but they asked who was from the government, from the town,
Yep.
and then they said, who's planning board? And I'd say 60% raised their hands. No.
Yeah.
Interesting, when you first started talking to us about the breakup of the properties in the town.
Yeah.
Some of my evening entertainment has been trying to figure out when these were all broken up. Like on Halseyville Road, that cluster of 5 little properties right together
Yeah,
and that sort of stuff. The first one was I figured out how to get to when the house was built, via the GIS data and that,
Yeah.
stuff. I can't get to the records to figure out when the property was actually split, but I figure when the house went on, that's a good kind of a clue of where all this
when
went
it
in.
was built, yeah.
Right. Well, the first one of that cluster of 5 was built in 1960. The other 4 were added in the mid 1980s.
Yeah,
And what I'm finding, I've gone down several of the roads like Perry City from one side of the town to the other and that, looking at when these houses were built. The bulk of this split up in here was done before 2000. Back before zoning really tightened up and
Right.
that sort of stuff.
Right.
So the
Yeah.
bulk of the jigsaw puzzle that's here was already created before
Oh, yeah.
2000.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, a lot of developers, even when I lived in New Hampshire, what they did is when they heard about zoning coming, they would
properties
split up
maybe,
100
yeah.
acres into eighth of an acre lots. And they were planning on building it because it would have been grandfathered in.
Because then you could combine it if you needed to.
Yeah, but what happened is once the zoning came in and they said, now we're gonna start building, no. They couldn't do it because the zoning changed. And when the zoning changed, they couldn't take those eighth, because there were other rules also, fire roads,
Yeah, right,
EMS, because you cannot build a road longer than X amount of feet.
yeah.
And it can't be a dead end road. It has to have a circle. And all of
God.
these, what they did is they just went that way and that way, eighth of an eighth, and then it was just a dead end road, and you can't do that. It's against the
Yeah.
law.
It's where I grew up, those dead end roads with eighth of an acre or smaller.
Right, exactly, but now you
You
can't
were on
do
Long
that
Island, right?
because of emergency vehicles. If a tree fell down in the front of the road, there's no way to get to the road anymore. So
Yeah,
now you have to
right.
make it a full loop.
Yeah.
But yeah, and developers were doing that like crazy before all that, they started to put in zoning.
Oh,
So that's where this came from, same thing.
Yeah,
Somebody owned that property and he quickly cut it up as fast as he could.
yeah.
mhm.
Because the only real property that I've seen that was split recently, when you come up Glenwood Heights Road, there was a farm there that was
Yeah.
over several years broke into 8 different
Yeah,
pieces.
Yeah.
And then there was one out there on Waterbird
Tunnels,
Road, down, almost down where it kind of makes a corner down there after you get past that there's like a triangle of roads in there.
Yeah.
And just beyond, just north of that, in that corner, there was like maybe 5 or 6 lots
Mm.
broken out in that corner in there.
Mm.
But that's about the only real major amount of farmland, because the 400 foot that came in 2007 is pretty much, it's very slow, the rate of any conversion of farmland to housing.
Well, you have to also look at who the farmers are too, because that has a lot to do with it.
Mm.
The one you're talking about, Total, just died, and his wife,
Split it up.
yeah, they're splitting it up. And, like when my parents retired, they split up their farm.
But
That's
when
where
did
a
that
couple
actually,
clustered.
when did that happen?
That happened in 90. Yeah. that
So
they
again,
split
before
theirs.
2000,
That would have
yeah.
been around Houghton Road and that area, Albertson Road, that's where there was a cluster of houses that were built then.
Yeah.
Quite a few, and along Crumbs Corner. Yeah.
Okay,
All right.
So
You
you
ready
just,
to get
you
out of
might
here?
be able to find it by going to the obituary.
Yeah.
Who dies when.
Newspaper obituaries, all right.
I make a motion to adjourn.
All right.
Do you mind if I first make the motion?
Do we have
All
to?
right,
do we
all in
have to-
favor of adjournment?
Vote? No.
All right, I gotta go find 2 pieces of paper.
Brenner.